What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today we're counting down the top 10 best Adidas sneakers for 2021. So over the last few months, I've done videos just like this for a few of the other major brands like Nike and Puma, and now it's time to do Adidas. Adidas has some of the best overall selection when it comes to everyday styles that you can wear for doing pretty much anything. And I know some of you guys are thinking, what are you doing? This is a top 10 video in the middle of the year, but hear me out. So the purpose of this video is to highlight some of the best Adidas styles available right now that you can walk into pretty much any sneaker store and find pairs of. These aren't like the best sneakers of the year from Adidas, although some of the sneakers on this list might end up being that. These are just some of the best styles that you can buy right now and wear for the rest of 2021. And of course, I've made sure to leave links to all of the sneakers that we cover in today's video and even some that we didn't have time to cover in the description below. So if you guys want to grab any of these styles or even check out which shoes are on sale, I've left links to do that in the description below. But with all of that being said, let's jump right into the list. At number 10 is the Adidas ZX2K Boost 2.0. So this shoe is obviously a follow-up to last year's Adidas ZX2K Boost, and it actually looks very similar to that shoe. One of the things that I really loved about that shoe, and now I love about the 2.0 version, is that the design of this shoe is heavily inspired by classic Adidas running sneakers from the 80s and 90s. That just really seems to be a trend among sneaker brands right now, and I'm not mad at it at all. I love retro running sneakers, and I think this shoe looks incredible, and so do a lot of the other retro-inspired running sneakers available from Adidas. But what I like most about this sneaker is not only the retro-inspired design, but also the fact that this sneaker fuses in modern technologies like Boost and some updated heel counter details. And as you'll find with a lot of the sneakers on the list, not only is this a good looking shoe, it's also very, very comfortable underfoot. And a lot of that is due to the Adidas Boost technology and the fact that this shoe features a full-length Boost midsole. But what really makes this shoe even more comfortable is the fact that this Boost midsole is paired with a very lightweight and soft mesh upper. I'll be saying this a lot throughout the entire video, but this is one of those lifestyle sneakers that you can wear for pretty much any occasion, pretty much any event that isn't formal. It's very comfortable, you can run in it if you need to. I wouldn't recommend it over some of the other sneakers on the list, but it's a great overall shoe, it looks good, and it's not too expensive at 150 bucks. There's also a good amount of colorways available, so you shouldn't have too hard of a time finding a style that you like. Coming in at number 9 is the Adidas Don Issue 2. So this shoe is Donovan Mitchell's second signature basketball sneaker with Adidas, and I've gotta say, over the last couple years, he's been blowing us away. He's an incredible basketball player, and I cannot wait to see what he does in the future. Although I consider myself a Kawhi fan, it was kind of sad to see the Clippers knock out the Jazz in the playoffs. I would have liked to have seen Donovan Mitchell play the Suns, but it is what it is. So as the name of the sneaker would suggest, this shoe is heavily inspired by Donovan Mitchell's love of comic books and Marvel heroes. If you don't remember, it's called the Issue 2, like comic book issue 2. It's also got a bunch of different Marvel inspired colorways, like a Venom colorway. Not only that, it also features this sort of starburst on the side of the shoe, which reminds you a lot of like those BAM graphics in comic books. And not only that, it's also a pretty solid on-court performance basketball sneaker. So it's one of those shoes that you can throw on casually if you want, and then go to the basketball court and play your friends in it. Tech spec wise, this shoe is very lightweight. It features an internal booty construction to lock your foot in, as well as a bounce midsole cushion. But for me, one of the best parts about this sneaker, besides its overall aesthetics, is the price point. It retails for just 110 bucks, which is very affordable. And not only that, you can actually find certain colorways of this shoe on sale, which I've made sure to leave linked in the description below. So if you're looking for a competent on-court performer and you're a big fan of Donovan Mitchell, this shoe, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. Next up at number 8 is the Adidas ZX8000. This is a classic Adidas lifestyle sneaker that's finally re-emerging back into pop culture and is one of the most popular ZX sneakers of all time. And what I really love about what Adidas is doing with the ZX8000 is the fact that they're using it as a base for collaborations with a bunch of different really great brands. So far in 2021, we've had a couple different Lego collaborations, we've had Sean Witherspoon collaborations, we've had a bunch of different collaborations, and there is still more to come throughout the year. So in a lot of ways, it takes an already pretty special sneaker and makes it even more special and gives you tons of different options when it comes to grabbing a pair of ZX8000s. But not only is the ZX8000 a great looking sneaker, it's also very comfortable on foot due to the very plush and soft textile upper. I really wanted to put this shoe higher up on the list, but the reason I didn't is because it's actually kind of hard to get this sneaker because sizes of this shoe keep selling out. And especially if you want to get like a limited edition ZX8000, they're pretty difficult to get, like the Simpsons collabs that dropped a couple weeks ago. Not the easiest shoe to grab, and because of that, I had to drop it a little bit lower on the list. All that said though, it's a great looking classic sneaker that's very comfortable on foot, and it also comes in at a pretty reasonable retail price of just 140 bucks. After that, at number 7, we've got the Adidas NMD NMD R1 Prime Knit. So this shoe actually first released when I was starting off my YouTube channel back in 2016, and it's crazy to me that both this sneaker and my YouTube channel have just turned 5. But unlike my YouTube channel, the NMD R1 is one of the most important and influential things to happen in fashion in the last decade. Man, I remember waiting in line for pairs of NMD R1s. I remember getting a pair and being the only person in it felt like the entire city of New York with one on foot because everyone was either reselling pairs or just couldn't grab pairs. And then the pairs that I could get usually weren't exactly in my size because everyone wanted a size 9. And even now, 5 years later, after all the hype is worn off, the NMD R1, especially the Prime Knit variant of the sneaker, is one of the best sneakers to release in the last decade. And the reason for that mainly is the style paired with the comfort. This shoe is incredibly comfortable on foot. It looks incredibly futuristic even 5 years later. And not only that, it's also one of the most eye-catching and iconic sneaker designs to drop in a while. The NMD R1 dropped right when Adidas Boost was at the top of its popularity, and because the sneaker featured a full-length Boost midsole, it became very highly coveted. And of course, it's also incredibly comfortable underfoot, and when you pair that with a full Prime Knit upper, which feels like a sock on top of your pair of socks, this shoe just felt like you were wearing pretty much nothing, or you were walking on clouds. It was incredible. But visually, what made this sneaker special besides the sock-like look were the multicolored plugs on the side of the sneaker. The OG colorway came with a black upper, a red and blue plug on the side of the midsole, and a white Boost midsole. It was a very iconic look, and it still is to this day. And the reason I decided to put this shoe on the list, even though it's 5 years old, is because this sneaker is finally re-releasing in the OG colorways, or very slight variants of those OG colorways. I think a couple weeks ago we had the actual white OG colorway drop, true to form, and now you can actually go on Adidas.com and buy a version which looks almost identical to the OG black colorway, but it's slightly different. And although it's not the cheapest shoe at $180, I don't think you'll regret picking it up. At number 6 is the Adidas Ultra Boost DNA 6.0. So I've talked about this shoe a bunch. I've reviewed this shoe this year, which if you guys want to check out, there will be a link at the top of the screen. And I've got to say, this is one of my favorite releases from Adidas this year. So if you're not aware, Adidas has essentially 2 different Ultra Boost lines. The performance line, which is just the Ultra Boost 20, 21, and so on, and the lifestyle line, which is the DNA line. The lifestyle line still looks very similar to the Adidas Ultra Boost that first released back in 2015. However, it does feature a few incremental improvements that make it a better sneaker overall. And this year, Adidas introduced the brand new DNA 6.0, which is one of the largest changes of the DNA line since 2015. But let's talk about the overall sneaker as a whole, because the Adidas Ultra Boost DNA, whether it's the 1 through the 6, are all incredible sneakers. They all feature a full Prime Knit upper, a Boost midsole, and are one of the best combinations of great looks and overall comfort I've ever experienced. In fact, I actually consider the Adidas Ultra Boost 1.0, or I guess now the DNA 1.0, one of the best sneakers ever made. It's the perfect mesh of looks, comfort, and just performance ability. I think it's an incredible sneaker. And now with Adidas's focus on sustainability, they're starting to incorporate a lot of recycled materials into their mainline DNA sneakers. So because of that, the Adidas Ultra Boost DNA 6.0 features a lot of recycled materials in the upper of the shoe and in the midfoot cage. And what's crazy is that unless they told you that, you would never know. It still feels just as comfortable and still looks just as good. While the shoe usually retails for $180, there's actually a pair on sale on Adidas's website right now. Actually, the pair that I reviewed, my favorite colorway, for just $126. And of course, I've left a link to it in the description below. And for $126, this shoe is kind of a no-brainer. The Ultra Boost DNA is one of those shoes that you can literally wear with anything, and if you want, you can go on a run with this sneaker. It's like the perfect do-everything shoe, and I really, really love it. Plus, now that we're in the summer, the shoe is incredibly breathable, so your foot's never gonna overheat, and it's gonna stay comfortable all day long. Seriously, in my opinion, the Ultra Boost DNA, or just the Ultra Boost as it's always been known, is probably one of my favorite sneakers of all time. After that, at number 5 is the Adidas Dame 7. This is another excellent basketball sneaker from Adidas that you can wear on or off the court. And it's actually also one of the best reviewed basketball sneakers from Adidas this year as far as performance goes. If you're not familiar with the NBA or NBA players, the Dame 7 is Dame Lillard's 7th signature sneaker with Adidas. I remember the Dame 2 from like 2016, 2017, one of the best basketball sneakers I've ever had, and I really wish I'd kept it. It wasn't in that terrible a shape. I probably still could have balled in it. Man. One of the things that I love about the Dame line is that even though these shoes are incredible on-court performers, Dame really wants his shoes to be accessible to everyone. So he makes the price point of these shoes, or I guess Adidas makes the price point of these shoes, just $110, which is very, very affordable. Especially when you compare this price to some of the more high-end basketball sneakers from other brands, it's not really a contest. This shoe is incredibly priced. Tech spec-wise, the shoe features a pretty minimal-looking textile upper, as well as light stripe cushion underfoot. In my opinion, this is one of the best no-nonsense no-nonsense basketball sneakers out there. It gets the job done. It's an incredible price, and if your kid's going to school, or maybe you're going to school and you want to grab a shoe that's not going to break the bank, the Dame 7 is a great shoe to grab. At number 4 is the Adidas Ultra Boost 21. So this Ultra Boost is the performance-based Ultra Boost that I was talking about earlier. The DNA was the lifestyle version. This shoe is the running version. And man, this year in 2021, they packed the midsole of this shoe full of boost. In fact, the heel of the sneaker looks almost like 1.5 to 2 inches thick. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, to be fair, the padding is not only underfoot, but it's also a little bit of visual padding because the boost technically kind of surrounds your foot and doesn't just go underneath your foot. So it looks like there's more boost under you than there actually is, but it's still the most boost that they've ever put in a pair of Ultra Boost sneakers. And because of that, when it comes to running sneakers, the Ultra Boost 21 is one of the softest running sneakers underfoot, and it's great for people who have bad joints or maybe for recovery runs. Or if you're like me and you're a more casual runner and you just love super soft sneakers. But not only does the 21 feature some of the most boost in any sneaker ever, it also features a really great molded prime knit upper. Unlike the DNA's prime knit upper, which is more of like a soft sock-like fit, the 21's upper is more molded to hold your foot in place and still give you that soft, breathable comfort. Aesthetically, I don't like the Ultra Boost 21 as much as the DNA line. I just feel like it's too performance looking, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If you're looking for an incredibly comfortable shoe, this might be one of the most comfortable sneakers Adidas has ever made. And while like the Ultra Boost DNA usually retails for $180, you can actually grab a pair right now on sale for much less than that. And again, I've left links to those in the description below. Coming in at number 3 is the Adidas 4D Forward. So as you may notice, the next two shoes on the list, or I guess most of the top of the list, is filled with the most innovative sneakers that Adidas makes. And the 4D Forward is nothing if not innovative. It takes one of Adidas's most futuristic technologies, their 3D printed midsoles, or 4D, and pushes it to the limit. And the way that they do that is they've actually changed up the pattern of the 3D print. So now instead of having so many little structural elements, I don't know what they call them, bars or diamonds or whatever, and spread them out a little bit in a way that actually pushes you forward when you run. It's an insane feeling sneaker. Not only that, the shoe also features a prime knit upper which feels great on foot, but it's really the 4D midsole that's the star of the show in the 4D Forward. It really seems like such a little thing, just changing the pattern of the midsole, which is really only like 1/2 inch thick, but it really does change the entire feel of the sneaker. The one problem that I had with 4D sneakers years ago is that the shoes never really felt that soft underfoot, and they never really fit my foot perfectly, which is kind of the whole reason that Adidas is working on 3D printed sneakers, to make them personalized to anyone who wears the sneakers. So hopefully in the future, you can walk into an Adidas store, scan your foot, and have a shoe printed out for you right then and there that fits your foot perfectly. But the 4D Forward just changes everything for me. The shoe is very soft underfoot, it literally pushes you forward like I said, and it looks crazy. If you're looking for a shoe that's going to grab people's attention, this is a shoe to grab. Now unfortunately, the one downside of this sneaker, and the reason that I struggled to put it on the list, is because right now it's sold out. I mean, technically you can buy it on the resale market, and I've made sure to leave a link to GOAT in the description below if you want to do that. But unfortunately, it looks like if you're trying to grab this shoe right now from Adidas, it's sold out. However, they have said that in the next couple months, they're going to be releasing more colorways and more styles of this shoe. So if you're watching this a couple months down the road, maybe it's available. So I've left a link to Adidas as well in the description below. Currently, the shoe retails for $200, which may seem like a lot, but if you look back at some of the previous 4D sneakers, they started at like $350. So the technology is getting more and more affordable, which you love to see. If you have the money and you're trying to grab something futuristic and crazy, the 4D Forward is a great shoe to grab. At number 2 is the made to be remade Adidas Ultra Boost. So remember how I was saying Adidas is really focusing on sustainability? Well, with this shoe, they are really focusing on sustainability. You wear it as much as you want until it pretty much falls apart, and then you return it to Adidas and they turn it into a brand new pair of sneakers. It's a pretty incredible idea, and I love the concept of this sneaker. When it comes to this sneaker, everything about this shoe is designed to be remade and reused. The upper of the shoe is undyed so that they can recycle the material without having to do any weird chemical processes to get the colors out. I believe all the different panels of the shoe are connected together in a way that doesn't require stitching. It's an incredibly cool sneaker, and I love the focus that Adidas is putting on sustainability and the future. I think this shoe, while it's still a pretty small sample size of people who will be buying this sneaker, it's a great proof of concept, and The fact that this is something that Adidas is actually working on blows my mind. So if you want to be a part of this and grab a pair of the made to be remade Ultra Boosts, currently they're selling for $180, and you actually have to be an Adidas member to grab them, which just means you have to have an Adidas account on their website, which is not hard to set up. And actually, I'd love to know if you've bought this sneaker before and how the process is going for you. I actually don't have a pair. I'd like to grab a pair, so let me know your thoughts on this sneaker in the comment section down below. Finally, coming in at number 1 is the Adidas Forum 84. So this shoe actually comes in a couple different variants. You've got a low top, a mid top, and a high top. I'm primarily just talking about the mid top and the low top for this video, but any version of the Adidas Forum is a great sneaker. So as the name would suggest, this shoe first released back in 1984, and Adidas is starting to sort of revitalize the silhouette and re-release it in 2021. And thank God that they did, because I love the Adidas Forum. It's an incredible sneaker. In my opinion, some of the best sneakers ever made came out in the 80s, specifically leather high-top basketball sneakers, and the Adidas Forum is one of those shoes, and that's the reason it still survives to this day, because it's a classic look, it utilizes classic materials, and it's one of those shoes that literally goes with anything. And not only is the Adidas Forum becoming popular once again because of the fact that Adidas is re-releasing it, but also because they're releasing it with a bunch of awesome collaborations. Recently, I've been a huge fan of the Adidas Forum Low because it's a great sneaker for summer, it's super wearable, but the Adidas Forum Mid is just one of my favorite looks when it comes to sneakers in general. So I'm kind of torn between the two styles, that's why I put them both on the list, but you really can't go wrong with either. And not only that, there's also a ton of different colors to choose from. So whether you pick up one of the limited collaborations or you grab one of the more toned down standard styles, you can't really go wrong with the Forum. And the best part is, no matter what style you're trying to grab of the Adidas Forum, the price point is around just $100, which is kind of insane for such a great looking and popular sneaker. For me, the Adidas Forum is like the top sleeper of the year. It topped my list of the top 10 best summer sneakers of 2021, and it's topping another one of my lists with the top 10 Adidas sneakers of 2021. It's an all-around great sneaker, it's great looking, it's relatively comfortable because at the end of the day it is still a 1984 sneaker, so it doesn't have the newest in comfort tech, but it's still a pretty comfortable sneaker that's easy to rock all day. So that's why the Forums are at the top of the list. But with that, we pretty much wrap up the top 10 Adidas sneakers for 2021. Now I would love to know your thoughts on this list and whether you feel like I left any sneakers off the list. So make sure to let me know what sneakers those were in the comment section down below. Of course, if you would like to check out any of the sneakers that we mentioned in today's video or any of the shoes that we didn't have time to mention, make sure to click the links in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.